Welcome there, welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. This is another video on Astrotheology. What do these terms mean? At the foot of the cross, lay my burden at his feet, being at the feet of Jesus. Now, as I've stated before in my earlier videos, you cannot understand any astrotheology properly if you do not understand how the ancients viewed Earth. And it was flat. And it's flat today, but you're not told how and why. You're only to believe a certain aspect. If you want to learn more about it, you'd have to go and check out my earlier videos. But I'm going to go explain these terms and how it works on the flat Earth system. So there's a zodiac sign there, and look, it's comes about from a flat plane, a circle. That's Earth if you could look down on it. It's the magnetic fields if you could see them, but they're infinite, and the south is mirrored from the north. It expands out to the south. It's a toroidal field that we all live in. Okay, so you've got the southern hemisphere. And then you got the northern hemisphere from the centre to there, and the southern hemisphere from there to there. That is the Tropic of Capricorn. That is the Tropic of Cancer. This is the tropical gap. The magnetic field of Earth does not cross the tropical gap. Science does not tell you that. Even the science wannabes who think they live on a spinning ball wouldn't know what I'm about to tell you. They don't understand. Now, you've heard of the sun's analemma? The pattern it takes over a year. If you could take a photo of the sun in the exact same place at the same time every day for 365 days, you get this pattern. Well, it just so happens to be one in the southern hemisphere. If you live in the southern hemisphere, you'll get your image like that, and if you're in the northern hemisphere, you'll get your image, but it will be like this, both aiming towards the tropical gap. We're led to believe that there's only one of these, and it appears in the middle of the tropical gap. But man only sees so far. That's to his horizon, his personal arc of horizon. He only sees so far. 5k to 200k, depending on the light and what else is in the image of what he's viewing. So if he's only looking at night time out to the water and he sees the moon rise, that's only 5k. But during the day it depends on the light. Everything is of the light. Want to understand more of this, like I say, check out my earlier videos. So man only sees so far. He cannot see anywhere out here way up to the tropical gap, celestial tropical gap. No, he views all this area in his one realm, his one personal arc of horizon. So if you're over here, you'll get that image. If you're over here, you'll get that image. Or over there, depending on where you are on the Earth. But like I say, you only see so far. So he gets an image, he'll get his own image. Whichever hemisphere he is in, he'll get his own image. But what happens at this point here? So this point here is called man's hour, and that's where he sees his sun's analemma, and this guy will get his back up in here. I don't want to ruin my picture. There's another one back about foot to toe. So at the foot of the cross, lay my burden at his feet. It's this meeting point. This is the divine meeting point that all religious people, scientists don't tell you about, probably don't know. But I know, and this is why I'm telling you. This is why I'm doing my videos. This is man's hour, and it's at this point here, man's zenith. This is why it's called a keystone. Keystone or the other word, what's the other word? Capstone. Capstone. The most divine. That's why Khufu is missing the capstone, the pyramid stone, because man is born into darkness. He is missing this capstone. He's also missing his cornerstone, but that's another story. This is the capstone, and this is what he needs to find. He needs to find this point in time where, you know, the two. Well, I'm using the sun analemma because that's one aspect. That's what it's referring to. But at the same time, this is the Milky Way. Do you see? There's two Milky Ways that pass around the Earth. There's one that's in the northern hemisphere. It swings around, and its mirrored image is in the south. So imagine this is the Milky Way. It'll swing around. And this swings around. They swing around to meet, and in between you get the dead straight line, curving field on the north, curving field on the south. That forms the bow in the Iliad, very famous bow. That's it over here. This bow there. That's what that represents. It's the spot here. So you could say it's the two Milky Ways coming around to meet. That is man's hour, and it only happens in a direct line at a certain time of the year. Because otherwise the Milky Way is always curved, but it gets to a point where they both align like this. They still have this gap. Okay? And this is in the holy season. You have to backtrack on my videos to find out more information on this. So at the foot of the cross. Now, what happens at a particular time of the year, but the exact, the perfect cross may only happen every few thousand years. That's the whole Jesus story. And that's when Orion's belt, I've got a pen here. See, this is basically, another way to look at it now is the star rotations. You've got the southern hemisphere star rotations. This is all explained in star trail photography. You'll see the two sky rotations. And then there's the northern hemisphere, or you can look at this, the southern one, and that's the northern one. They don't quite meet. There's a gap, there's a celestial tropical gap. At a particular time of the year, in comes Orion's belt in a straight line, straight through there. Okay? So, this is the cross they're referring to. Orion's belt marks the spot, and there's one, and the cross comes through like this. I think this is the southern hemisphere image, but this will be Sirius. Regal, Aldebaran, Baron, and down here we have, Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse. That is the cross. No religious person has ever known that. No one you know. They keep referring to the crux in the southern hemisphere. That is a divine cross. Okay? Most of the time you go, anytime you'll see it, it'll sort of look more like this. Maybe later on. Excuse me. Or, you know, it might pass through like this. Or you might think it looks more like this. But either way, this is the cross. Divine cross, and X marks the spot. Okay? It's between the two hemispheres. At the foot of the cross, like I've just drawn, there's the foot of the cross. It's you there. You're at the foot of the cross. Because you are always standing zenith to your arc of horizon, 90 degrees to your zenith. This is the capstone in there, corners, capstone, keystone, it's the key. The locks the two together. Okay? That's it. Now, also in this period, these two hemispheres do lock. They overlay like this. Now I'm going to read something on my phone. Emails. Bear with me. Okay, what have we got here? We've got the Centurion at the cross. I'm going to read this. Now, from the 6th hour, darkness fell upon all the land until the 9th hour. Now, what does that mean? All the scripture is coded from the 6th hour. Darkness fell upon all the land until the 9th hour. It's from the 6th day. The 6th day of creation is the whole religious Jesus story. In the 9th month. 6th hour to the 9th month. Darkness fell upon all the land until the 9th hour. About the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice. That's in the 9th month, September, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? This is part of the story, because Christ is the Son. The Son doesn't talk. And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. And behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from the top to the bottom. Torn in two, it's separated. And the earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs were opened. The two Milky Ways, they open when they're in alignment. And the rocks were split, the tombs were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they entered the holy city. This is classed as the holy city. This gap in here, also known as the banks of the Nile or the Jordan, crossing of the Red Sea. Now the centurion and those who were with him keeping guard over Jesus, when they saw the earthquakes. See, the earthquake is related to this crossing. It's a subduction, you see. We're alluded to subduction, like earthquakes. It's a subduction. The southern hemisphere slides under the northern hemisphere, and during the year it separates. So the earthquakes and things that were happening became very frightened and said, truly this was the Son of God. Truly this was the Son of God. So if this happens to this man at his zenith, and he's in the right place consciously, and the stars are aligning, and his moon sign is in the Milky Way, then bingo, he has the opportunity of waking up, becoming Christ-like, raising his soul. Truly this was the Son of God. What a declaration. There were not quivering words from a frightened pup, of a recruit, or an easily manipulated conscript. That's just some version there. Okay? It's understanding this flat earth system and what's actually happening. This is reality. We can see this. We can go out and look at this ourselves. The southern hemisphere stars move up and they move out each year. Okay? I'll leave it at that. Cheers, guys.